Dear learners, today I will continue the class on individual and society. After going through this unit, video part 2, you will be able to discuss the relation of the individual and society, describe the organic theory of society. Dear learners, this class is concentrated on the second part, that is organic theory of society, regarding the relation between individual and society. Let us now discuss the organic theory of society. Different thinkers have put forward their opinion on the relation between individual and society. Although we find different views on the relation between the individual and the society, yet the common viewpoint is that the relation between the two is inescapable. The interesting point is to be raised here is about how society originated and which one first comes, either the society or the individual. Dear learners, this issue has become an interesting point of discussion not only among the social philosophers but also among the sociologists. Therefore, we get different theories regarding the relation of the two, means individual and society. In this unit, we will discuss the different theories aiding different philosophers' viewpoint regarding the relation between the individual and the society. The three important theories in this regard are as follows. First one, in the video part 1, we have discussed the social contract theory. This theory holds that society is an artificial structure to meet up people's demand. The supporters of this theory are Hobbes, Rousseau, and Locke. This theory is also known as structuralism in modern science. Dear learners, this theory is not satisfactory on the following grounds. Now you see these grounds. This theory is based neither on historical fact nor on logical truth. The view that man can live apart from society cannot be accepted because man is a social being. Again, the thought of the state of nature prior to the socialization process in the context of society cannot be easily accepted. We cannot by evidence show that society came into existence in order to protect property and defend their security. Secondly, the presupposition that the state of nature was selfish and brutal before the contract came into existence cannot be accepted without reservation. Because man is neither absolutely selfish nor absolutely unselfish. We cannot ignore the fact that man has both egoistic and altruistic nature. Thirdly, this theory is not based on logical truth because the social contract presupposes the political consciousness. But we cannot imagine the political consciousness in the state of nature. Therefore, the concept of contract cannot be presupposed before society came into existence. That is why the social contract theory is not satisfactory. Now, dear learners, I will discuss in this video part, means video part 2, the organic theory of society regarding the relation between individual and society. This theory is one of the most important theories regarding the relationship between the individual and society. The evolutionists such as Herbert Spencer and Al Stephen are the typical exponents of the organic theory of society. The organic theory, so according to this theory, means according to the organic theory, society is an organism just as an organism is an organic unity of interdependent organs. So also, society is an organism of interdependent individuals, but cannot exist apart from each other. This theory compares society to an living organism. Just as a human body cannot exist apart from its parts or organs, so also the society cannot exist apart from the individuals. Again, just as a society cannot exist without individuals, so also individuals cannot be complete without a society. Dear learners, individuals are part and parcel of society. Just as we cannot think of a human being without bodily parts, so also the concept of society without individuals will be meaningless. Dear learners, individuals cannot be independent of society. Herbert Spencer, one of the advocates of this theory, says social structure can be compared to an animal body whose system of nutrition has its counterparts in society. In the industrial and agricultural systems, the circulatory system with the heart, arteries and veins corresponds to the communication and transport systems of a nation. The nervous system to the government and so on. Herbert Spencer maintained that a society as an entity is something more than and other than an organism. Even though human organisms are members of it, it is a total system of elements of social organization and their interdependent functions. It is a super-organic entity, an organizational entity over and above the level of the organism. Herbert Spencer, dear learners, discusses the similarities in functions, systems, and processes between the social and biological organisms. Other writers find in society counterparts of the brain, the lungs, and other organs and limbs of the body. Herbert Spencer maintained that both society and an organism shows a similar process of growth and evolution from simplicity to complexity. Society in the beginning was just a tribal organization, but it has developed from that primitive stage to the modern complex structure with a multiplicity of functions. Dear learners, an organism also exhibits similar process of growth. An embryo in the body of the mother is just a lump of flesh but slowly grows to a complete whole with various organs having variety of functions. But grow from inside outward. It evolves by adjustment and response to environments. In process of growth, each undergoes individualization, specialization, and differentiation of both organs and functions. According to Spencer, but society and organism have three main systems: a sustaining system, and distributor system, a regulating system. Sustaining system of an organism consists of digestive system by which food is digested and life of an organism is sustained. In the case of the society, there is a corresponding sustaining system which consists of agriculture and industries by virtue of which the society is sustained. The distributing system in an organism consists of circulatory system by which blood is distributed to various parts of the body. In the case of the society, the distributing system consists of transport and communication. The regulatory system of an organism consists of brain and nerves. Governmental and military system constitute the regulatory system in the society. There is thus a parallelism between the ways in which animal and social life preserve. Herbert Spencer also maintains that both organism and society exhibit a similar cycle of birth, growth, decay, and death. From these points of agreement, the conclusion is drawn that state is an organism and there are similarities between the two. The state lives, grows, and develops much as an individual does. Another exponent, Bluntschli, brings out a metaphorical distinction between the state and source by attributing sexual characteristics. The former is, according to him, masculine, while the latter is feminine. The state being masculine, woman, in his opinion, should not be given franchising. Some thinkers like Oswald Spengler maintains that society passes through the some organic cycle of birth, youth, maturity, old age, and death as do other organisms. Dear learners, the organic theory indicates the social nature of man. Man is a social animal. So a man wants to share or company with others. The sharing nature of man overcomes the presupposition of the brutish or selfish nature of man, which is thought to be the reason behind the contract. Therefore, dear learners, the social contract theory alone cannot give us a satisfactory reply to the question of the relation between the individual and the society. The organic theory, therefore, is a developed form of the theories about the relation between individual and society. Because this theory holds that individuals are interdependent on each other. As a result, sin, as people want to live in mutual contact and intercourse with one another. So apart from society, men are mere abstractions, thinking, feeling and willing, which are the essential conditions of a man, are activated only in a society. Therefore, a question naturally comes to our mind as to if we can think of a man without a society. The organic theory answers that question by holding that the focus of a man is reflected in society. We cannot think of a society without individuals. Therefore, an individual cannot exist without a society. So both are interdependent. Society consists of individuals, and individuals are essential parts of society. According to this theory, both are inseparable from one another. That is why this theory does not recommend the mechanical view of society. Rather, it advocates a natural view of society through organic relation. Now, dear learners, there is a key word that is functionalism. What is functionalism? Functionalism is the oldest and most dominant theoretical perspective in sociology. This perspective lays emphasis on two aspects. First one is application of the scientific method to an objective study of the social world. The second one, use of an analogy between the individual, organism, and society. Emily Durkheim and Richard Talcott are the Emily Durkheim and Talcott Parsons are the two advocates of functionalism. They hold that the social world is objectively real. Functionalists compare society to a living organism. They hold that the different parts of society, that is, the family, education, religion, law, and media, etc., contribute to the smooth functioning of society. Now, dear learners, although the organic theory has given us an important clue regarding the relation between individual and society, still there are some difficulties inherent in this theory. Now we'll discuss these difficulties. Although this theory is a developed form of the mechanical view of society, still this theory is not free from criticism. Firstly, this theory tries to explain the relationship of individual and society through organic relation. The problem is that we can metaphorically explain of the relationship in terms of the organic form, but in reality, the picture is different. Because society and individual cannot be like a structured human body. Although mechanically it is possible for us to explain the different functions of a human body, but we cannot explain the relationship of individual and society like an organism can be explained. Secondly, the organic theory is not satisfactory. Organs of a human body cease to exist when a man dies, but the society does not cease to exist. It continues its functions. Therefore, on this ground, critics are not ready to accept the organic theory of society. Moreover, society has no center of consciousness apart from its individual members. It is the individual who feel, society does not feel. Therefore, the conception of social organism is only a metaphor. However, dear learners, the significance of this theory is that it removes the primitive concept of individual and society. This theory shows us the inseparable relation of individual and society. Over and above, it emphatically asserts that individual cannot live without society, and society also cannot exist without individual. So both are inseparable. Now, dear learners, now you have to take some key points or highlighting points of this theory. The organic theory holds that individual and society are interdependent like bodily parts of a human body. Just as in a human body, bodily parts are interconnected to each other, so also the relationship of individual and society are interrelated. The organic theory is a developed form of the theories about the relation between individual and society. Because this theory holds that individuals are interdependent on each other. The organic theory indicates the social nature of man. Man is a social animal. Thus, a man wants to share or company with others. The sharing nature of man overcomes the presupposition of the brutish or selfish nature of man, which is thought to be the reason behind the contract, that is, social contract theory. Now, dear learners, in order to know more about this unit, individual and society, you have to read some books written by Doshi S.L. Modernity, Postmodernity, and the Neo-Sociological Theories. The next one, Abraham Francis' book, Modern Sociological Theory. John S. Mackenzie's book, A Manual of Ethics. Jane Sina's book, A Manual of Ethics. Then R. N. Sharma's book, Introduction to Ethics. Then H. K. Rao's book, Sociology is to be important. Thank you.